Friends, happy Friday. It's another Q&A with Alan and Marshall. I'm Marshall Atkinson,
I'm Alan Howe with Easy Way.
and welcome to our show.
I'm glad
Uh,
we're having a show.
yeah, no, as you can tell, I am not in my office. Where am I? I am at the Fort Worth Impressions Expo. Look, I was there earlier,
Yay.
wandering around for a little bit. It just opened, so I only went down like 2 aisles, but I saw 50 people. It was kind of crazy. And I'm going back right after this show. I'm teaching a class at 1 o'clock on my favorite topic, which is how to write a business plan.
Absolutely.
But the usual cast of characters are there, and it looks like it's going to be a good show. They had a whole lot of people wanting to come in, and it was a lot of fun. I saw a guy, you'll appreciate this, Alan. I was just standing there, and we're waiting on the show to open, and a guy walked by wearing a Florida State Seminoles shirt. So, of course, I had to say hello and give him give the tomahawk chop, and he is a firefighter from New York City.
All right.
And so we got to talking, and he has just started his business. It's a like a part-time kind of a thing while he's doing firefighting, and he flew in just to look at the equipment and talk to people and stuff. So it's pretty exciting that people are flying into this show. So it's not just Texas.
That's awesome. And you know what? So unusual for a firefighter or a police officer to have a decorating business. Oh, man, that's
yeah.
And that is great. That makes me excited because shows have come back, but the attendance hasn't really been there. And it's been a little disappointing for vendors. So the fact people are traveling makes me very excited a little bit for Printing United and for Long Beach.
Yeah. So
I know at Long Beach, Easy Way is going to have a large booth. There's going to be a blue water machine there. So
yeah. I saw Alex skipping in. He looked like he was in a hurry. He gave me the fist bump on his way in. So,
he might. I got to ask. He might be there by himself.
Yeah.
Because
I didn't see an entourage.
Well, yeah, he didn't have his normal entourage. Well, Steve Nelson usually, because we have a small booth, and usually Steve Nelson, who handles a majority at GSG.
Yeah.
Steve has a house in Fort Myers. He is okay. So he might be on cleanup. So I don't know. I haven't talked to Alex.
Right. By the way, anybody that's in Florida, I am from Florida. I've been through several hurricanes, got a million stories about that. So I really appreciate everything that you're going through. Yeah. And let me tell you, if you need some help, you just want somebody to talk to, please reach out. I know lots of people. I know lots of contract decorators. Maybe if you need a resource to send some jobs to, let me help you with that because I can help you get that done. So
I know, my parents are in Naples. My mom's had some health problems, and they're fine. They had no damage to their place. Electricity was off only for a little bit. My aunt and uncle were down from just south of Sarasota, and they had his aunt, who is 80 and decrepit, out of Northport. They're all at my mom's house. So it's like 5 people, 2 cats, in a 2-bedroom and, 1 bath. They have 2 baths, but 1 bath, of course, is being remodeled. But everybody is safe. Unfortunately, I guess my uncle's aunt, her place is a total loss. So it, in our upper 80s, you don't want to hear that. I know of some people I used to go to church with. They retired down in Fort Myers, and it was like their dream for 3 years. They were loving it, and a total loss. But
so they have insurance?
I haven't talked to them. I just saw it on Facebook.
Yeah.
I'm sure they do. But you know what? For all the, thank God, things happen. Then friends of mine in Port Charlotte, their house, he told me, he goes, I have some gutters down, some trees. They have a Sprinter van got pushed into one of their cars. But he said, in all, he goes, considering the destruction, we're good.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, our thoughts and prayers to everybody within Florida. So let's say hi to some folks, and then let's pay some bills. So first off,
we're so glad everybody's listening, considering we failed and didn't put a notice out, and that happens. We get busy, and yeah.
So Richard's here from Michigan. Good to see you. Charles is here.
Charles, how you doing?
Cindy's here. She's at the show. So
all right.
Make a point to come find you later, Cindy.
I'm going to miss you.
Come to my class at 1. I'm teaching a class at 1. We'll love to see you there.
Yep. Shane from Scrimshaw.
Yep, great.
Shane, hope you're feeling better, and every day you're getting better. So,
praying for all in Florida. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Ghost is here from Sweden.
Ghost, they don't have hurricanes in Sweden, do they?
They have ice storms.
Okay, yeah, because Sweden's not on the water, I don't think at all. So,
Dan's here. Good to see him. Chris is here. Good to see him. Terry's here from Virginia.
Yep.
Somebody, Facebook users here from Baltimore. By the way, you need to give StreamYard permission to use your likeness and stuff. Just go to StreamYard.com/Facebook and you can get that sorted out so we can see who you are.
Absolutely. Baltimore, man. Hey, I could do some steamed crabs right now. Gotta love it.
Yeah. So, all right. So what's going on with you, Alan? How was your week?
Week's been a little slow for me. I've had some personal things going on and doing. But you know what? I did talk to Mr. Dan Solomon on Instant Messenger, and we got some stuff. I hooked him up with one of our dealers and ordering some product, and always good. Right. I had a client call me out of Northern Michigan. He's ordering another automatic, and we were just talking about the climate and what do we see in the future and all that. So I had to break out my crystal ball and say, yeah, I don't know. The way I talked, we were talking about economy going, yeah, you know what? Inflation, is it high? It is compared to what we are. But I don't see people slowing down right now. I still see people buying, making an investment in equipment and technology.
Yeah.
And
here's the interesting thing, Alan. When inflation is high and everybody's doing stuff and nobody is stopping and pausing, inflation is going to stay high. Inflation isn't going to drop until people don't do anything, right? So I'm traveling, I'm seeing people, I'm talking with a lot of shops. Business has never been better. I've been in and out of airports all week. I was in Las Vegas earlier this week for a technology automation conference. It was jam-packed. The casinos were huge. The airplane was full of people. Everybody's doing everything despite what the inflation is. So it's like one of these things where if you're waiting for inflation to drop because something's going to happen, you're putting your money on the wrong horse, I think. So
I agree. I definitely agree. I think it's still smart business. We were talking about, smart business. We've been through this with COVID. Make sure cash is still king. Make sure you're solvent as a business. Don't make stupid purchases.
Yeah.
If it can make you money, then do it.
Yeah.
Are we going to hit a recession? Probably. But I don't know.
Maybe we won't.
And if we do, are you ready to still keep driving forward?
Yeah, there's no way to predict it, right? And so it's because, and here's why: because we've never been through what we've just gone through ever.
Yeah,
we just don't know. And anybody who says that they know, I think is full of it because
they're lying. Yeah,
because we can't predict the future, right? So I think we just, like you said, is just let's plan for the best and prepare for the worst and keep pushing, right?
Which you should do anyways. And I think, Marshall, you and I have been doing this long enough. I think back, I didn't realize I was so young. I got hired my first in the industry right in the middle of a recession in '87.
Yeah, right.
And, I've been through a bunch of them. You know what? People still print and they're going. And exactly. So you keep going, make sure you're on top, stay in touch with the customers. And absolutely.
All right. Well, hey, let's run a commercial real quick. And we want to publicly thank GSG for sponsoring our show. I saw Jared
Yep.
Granberry just a minute ago walking on the sidewalk and said, "Hey."
Yep.
So I will be by their booth later today. So Mark,
They're in booth 417, 517, and
yeah,
617, I believe.
and anyway, so let's run this commercial, and then we'll be back with some really awesome topics.
Absolutely.
GSG, the combination of over half a century of knowledge with industry-leading technology and the customer at the center of everything that we do. Graphic Solutions Group is a powerhouse distributor of traditional screen, sign, wide format digital printing, embroidery, and textile decorating. We are committed to our customers, providing support, educational, and consulting services. Your success is our success. We've seen these industries grow and change in our 70 years. One thing never changes: GSG's dedication providing the best products and services available. We've been around, we'll be around, from the highs and the lows, standing right here with you. GSG, the right products, right away.
And we're back.
And we are.
So anyway, love that commercial. And
It is. They did a great job with it.
Let's get into our first topic, which is really, it's the 500-pound gorilla. That's why I'm in Texas.
Yep.
The Impressions Show. And I think how we open the show is really a good thing, which is people are here to learn, right?
Yep.
They're here to find new products. They're here to network with other people. They're here to take classes. I know that because I'm teaching classes. And I saw the usual cast of characters. I saw Eric Campbell, said hey to him. I saw Charlie Toblieb. When I was walking out, Rick Roth was walking in. And so it's just like there's a lot of really great minds here that can really help you. And you have to, sometimes you got to show up, right? You got to get out of your office, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But, coming to a trade show, I think, is an important part of your business journey because you don't know the new products that are out there, the new garments that are out there, the new techniques, that whatever you're struggling with right now, I bet you somebody here just solved it. Right?
Agreed. And sometimes it's just getting there and seeing it. I hear people going, no, I'm not going. No, I've never been. It's never a good time. It's never this. It's never a good time. You have to, this goes under the heading I always put of you make time for the things that are important.
That's right.
And you know what? How important is your business? If you've never been to a good trade show, yes, there's regional ones that are okay and stuff. You need to go to them. But if you've never been to ISS Long Beach or something that is just a monstrosity that blows your mind.
Graphics Pro,
yeah.
Printing United, right? So I think you got to get out of your shell and then go see people. Because I think it's really important that if you're only exposed to what's in front of you, that's all you know, right? And what's Greg Kitson's famous line is you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah,
right?
We don't know what we don't know.
And so it's a really good thing to do.
I don't think I've ever been to a trade show where I just didn't learn something or go, wow, I've never seen that before, or heard a technique or something to help just through conversation.
Right. So we were sharing comments earlier, and Facebook user says, happy half day Fridays. Ghosta says, not so much problem with the water, but trees. So no one knows if you have any across the road. Sometimes it's like that pick stick game in the winter, the site when you open the tailgate and there's your son's hockey goalie mask next to the chainsaw.
Yeah. In Michigan, we've had that too, where you end up being a lumberjack and, because of down trees. In the north of Michigan.
You sing the song?
No.
You know the song?
No. What's this?
I'm a lumberjack and I don't care, from Monty Python.
Oh yeah. No, I felt like I was a lumberjack when I had the house on the lake and just wasn't home enough, so I got sold and I have the house now. But
so what's your favorite thing about trade shows, Alan?
Oh, my favorite thing about trade shows is definitely people. I love meeting new people. For me, I've always enjoyed doing trade shows. I love talking to clients, potential clients, seeing what's new. When I was younger, every time I got to go to a trade show was just like heaven for me. It was almost like an amusement park because I loved meeting people. And that's where I would meet, being a young person in the industry where I would, I'd see the Richard Greaves and Joe Clarks, the people like that who I knew some, but then I would see them more at trade shows. I would see what's new. I would see what competitors are doing. You get to know them. This is a small industry. I would get to meet people, other printers in my region and out. And now as my career has grown, I do love it. I will say, Marshall, we've talked about it. When someone recognizes me and comes up and talks to me, I've read something you wrote. I've listened to your podcast. It is cool in hearing their story of what's going on. And,
and is that because they saw your photo in the post office?
Yeah, because of that, sir, it's Dog the Bounty Hunter. But
let me tell you, there's 3 things you need. If you haven't been to a trade show in a while, 3 things. You ready?
Go.
You need some paper and a pen.
Yep.
Look, I've already got notes. Shocking. You need business cards.
Absolutely.
Okay. And you need really comfortable shoes because you're going to be standing and walking. And so you need really comfortable shoes. That's all you really need, right? And just the time and the willingness to get out and explore and be open to new ideas and open to meet people and stick out your hand and introduce yourself, right?
I love learning, new techniques, new products and stuff. Think about Printing United. The first year when I was Printing United and all the packaging was there, I did go over into that and I'm just watching and not understanding any of it, but listening to the people talk and pitch and being able to get with them and ask questions and seeing that. It is so cool. It is such another world. And then when you see, oh, what I do overlaps with this, now it becomes interesting.
That's
Printing
right.
United, that's where talking to people like Ray Greenwood and Art Dobie and stuff. When you start talking about the medical and electronic part, now it starts to get real cool and fun.
Right.
And there's always at a trade show, even at Impressions, when you're talking about digital squeegees and the new, the new innovations in ink for it. And it's
I was just about 20 minutes ago, I was looking at a new DTF printer.
Yeah.
So
new and shocking.
They're all over, trust me. And I was just having the guy give me the tour. He didn't know who I was, right? Just give me the tour about what they were doing. And it's very interesting, right? So anyway, if you guys have been to a trade show, it would be really fun if you would to leave a comment about your favorite trade show story or what you go to try and find if you're at the show. Also, if you haven't been to a trade show, can you maybe list why? Right? Is it time or money or what? COVID? What? There's no wrong answer.
Right.
We just do an informal little thing about what you guys think about trade shows. I think that would be kind of a fun thing. And of course, we would love to answer any questions you might have. So,
I believe, I always hear the 2 things are time and, geographic of where it's at. And I'm like, in my mind, I don't say this out loud, but in my mind, it's you make time for what's important and to invest in your business.
Right. So Frank says he's about to head to the show. Can't wait to see you, Frank.
Yep.
Saw him last week in Phoenix at the SNS Activewear VIP event. That was
nice.
And Terry says, I've never met a stranger. I love meeting people. I'll definitely have to make a show next year. Terry, if you do make a show, please come hunt us down. We'd love
Yes.
to hang out. And I believe, didn't we meet? I think we met at the PPAI Expo in Vegas. I want to say like 4 years ago. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else, but I believe we've met.
Yep. And you know what? Why wait till next year? We've got Printing United coming up in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
If you can make it, it'd be a good one. I think it's going to be good.
Charles says, I always like seeing the new tech and connecting with other printers. And I take full advantage of the educational seminars. Charles, are you here? We'd love to see you if you are.
You're not far away, Charles, so you should be there. I actually met Charles for the first time at a seminar. Or not at a seminar, at a show at Printing United.
Yeah, did you?
In
That's
2000.
I know a lot of people.
2019 at SGIA.
A lot of people are going to Printing United. So,
yeah. Charles, are you coming to Printing United? The answer needs to be yes.
There's a lot of people in Shirt Lab. They're going to be at Printing United, by the way.
Oh, awesome. Good.
Yeah. So, and speaking of Shirt Lab, we just launched our new Shirt Lab Tribe platform this past week. And it's been a smashing success. So it's on a platform called Circle. And I think it's much easier to use and find the content and watch the videos and stuff.
Right.
So I've been inviting people. And so anyway, good to see you, Charles. Thanks for coming out today.
Yeah, absolutely. We miss you, though. It's been a while since I've seen you. So,
right.
Yeah, and actually, I met Charles. Brett Bowden introduced me to him, and I walked into a luncheon, and I was a little late. And he, I go in line to grab something, and Brett yells at me, "Alan!" It was when Saudi first came out with the lasers.
Yeah.
How much for a laser? And I think I replied back something snarky like, "For you or a real customer?" And for you, a lot more. And it was Charles, so I went over and met him. We were talking.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Ghosta says, wrong one. Mila, trade shows, if it's not meaningful to you, you find a solution. If it's not, you find an excuse.
Absolutely.
Great. And Terry says, I haven't met you yet, Marshall, but I've spoken to you on the phone a few years ago. Great conversation. My precious dog needed constant care and passed this month. Yesterday it had been his 13th birthday, so I've been out of sorts for a bit. Terry, I know exactly what that's like. Anybody who's had a pet, that's a member of your family.
Absolutely.
And sorry about that. That's
but I do think
that's a really rough thing. And so when my dog Connor passed away a couple of years ago, we could never get another dog.
Yeah.
Right. And still haven't replaced Connor because you can't. It's like replacing your kid. You can't replace him.
Yeah. I think, Terry, though, a trip to Printing United would be fun. So come on out.
Yeah. So, all right. So let's switch gears and get the next topic, which is something that I was learning about this past week. I went to a digital automation conference in Las Vegas. Alan, it was the most well done trade show event I've ever been to ever. It's impossible to describe what happens when you throw a lot of money at something.
Right.
It was a phenomenal event, and it was all about digital automation. So this was, there's a company called UiPath. This is a $4 billion company, and they basically automate processes for people, right? So they do a lot of stuff with data. They do a lot of stuff with analytics and that kind of stuff. So I was very curious as to what they were doing, which is why I went to the show, just to really research. I'm not a customer of theirs, nor do I plan to be, but I know that a lot of things are moving to automation. And what I was hoping to learn was just, what they're up to, what the future could be like, and what's going on. And one of the speakers said this phrase: sell outcomes, not processes. Okay. Which
you're
is
going to explain that because we talk about processes all the time.
That's right. And so that was what the epiphanal thing for me is, that that I help people with their workflow processes, with reducing their costs, with getting more things through the pipe, right? What I talk about a lot of time is these processes. What I don't talk about much is the outcome. And that was the real relevant thing for me. And so I think I need to do a better job of framing the conversation into the outcomes. And so what I was thinking about was for you guys watching, right? When you start talking about what you do best, whether you're an embroiderer or a printer or, whatever, right? What is the outcome that your customer expects or wants, right? And are you talking about that, or are you just quoting?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Are we talking about the outcome, which is going to be the favorite shirt, like you're putting it on when it's still hot from the dryer because that's your favorite shirt? Is that what you're talking about when you print something? And that could be the shirt that they got at the the 5K race, or the whatever, right? What makes it that favorite shirt, right? That's the outcome, right? Everything else is the process to make that. And so I think it really got me thinking a little bit, and I would love to kind of talk around this topic a little bit, because I think that we do a lot of thinking about the process system, not much about what the end result should look like. And I think that's what people stub their toe on. What do you think about this, Alan?
Well, you said something about the favorite shirt, and I can't remember if it was Greg Kitson that said on this when selling a garment, is this going to be something that they wear when washing the car or out to dinner, or when they're out with friends? What is that going to be? What is the outcome of it? Is it just a throwaway shirt when they're painting the house, cutting the grass, or are they going to wear it when they're out with friends or at somebody's house? And we all have shirts like that. I have a ton that I wear just when I'm doing stuff around the house. It's ratty, it's there, it's nothing great. Then I have some that, all right, I like this shirt. So you got to, that we talk processes technically, I think, but again, what is the outcome of it? I've never thought of it that way. I don't know if that applies.
Think about it from a sales process, just with you. You're selling.
The other thing on the sales process, as you just said, that what immediately came to mind was, again, finding someone's pain point on it, and then what is your solution? Then that solution should have an outcome. So, example, in the area I work in, I keep buying screens. I'm clogged up the bottlenecks in my screen room. Have you looked at auto reclaim? No, it's too much money. Really? How much are you spending on screens? How much are you doing per day? What's going on? What if you can get those all done in one shift or half a shift, and that person is now available to do something else, to pull shirts, to go hoop embroidery, to do whatever.
Right.
And now, we're looking at outcomes of it.
Yep. Yeah. It's the end result, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like the phrase I use a lot is, your preparation determines your outcome.
Absolutely.
Right? So what you put in it, feeds the result.
Yep.
And like if that's a sales process, your sales activities produce the results that you have for sales. And so I'll talk to printers sometimes, and they'll say, hey, I need some help with my sales. And I'll ask them, okay, describe to me your sales activities you had. We didn't do any. I was busy cleaning screens. I go, okay, well, the reason why you don't have any sales is because you're not selling.
Yeah, exactly.
So, so the outcome, right, I think is what a lot of people need to focus on a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm. And I think too, the outcome, it still comes down to where you're not selling, you are looking for solutions. And we talk about solutions a lot. I always go through, I went through a thing in the 90s called Sandler's selling system, and I still use it subconsciously. Nick Wood from Graphic Source went through it also. We got talking about it. And it is not about the product or about a literature. It is about what is the outcome? What are they looking for? What is their pain point? And what is the solution?
Right.
And then getting the obstacles away. Yeah, I would love to have it auto reclaim, but to me, but means forget everything else I just said. But I'd love it auto reclaim. But here it comes. I'm too busy. I don't have the cash flow. I don't have this. Well, how much are you wasting? So what are the obstacles on there? Is it financing? Is it this? And then make sure you have those.
Sure. You're spending the money. You're just not running a check. Right. And that could be with labor. That could be with rework. That could be with
time,
efficiency, time. There's a lot of things. And this is where we get into one of my favorite topics, which is, measuring.
Yep.
Right. You can't manage what you don't measure. Measuring. And that's when the truth really comes out, right? So, so Daniel here, Dan says, trade shows or an exhibitor are exhausting. I like them better as an attendee. Networking and new market trends are my favorite takeaways. Plus, there is always someone who has something memorable.
I agree. When I have a booth and I'm there with the company I'm with, it is a lot more tiring because I don't want to say we're chained to the booth, but we're there and we're working. When I'm there on my own, a little bit more freer to look around and do stuff. I take time to go and see. I get there. I'm one of those guys, I'll get there whether I'm speaking or not, get there early, and I'll go walk the show floor, before it opens.
Yeah.
So, which is nice.
Yeah. It's like I was just hanging out. I was hanging out in front of the door there for, the show didn't open till 10. Mm-hmm. I was there at 9, just sitting there. And as people were coming in, I was like saying, hey to everybody.
Yep.
And it's just shocking how many people I know.
Yeah.
But here's the deal. If I haven't met you, right, I do want to meet you. Yep. And I think, one of the things when you're at a show like this, or if you're running a booth, right, what gets exhausting is being enthusiastic for long periods of time.
Oh, yeah.
And you have to come at it with your best friend is only a handshake away. Let me meet you and let me find out some stuff. And you just got to, bring me some more coffee. Right? Whatever you need to get perked up, but you need that, right? So
Marshall, sometimes because we're recognized a little bit, you've talked to people, said, yeah, I saw you earlier at a different show and you were busy. I didn't want to interrupt. I've never been too busy where I couldn't say hello to someone. And half the time, best thing was I was with at a DAC show and Charlie Tiley, but I were over in the eating area and just coffee, and we're just sitting there talking, and someone came up and said, hey, I'm sorry to bother you guys, but I wanted to at least shake your hands. I know both of you, and go, you're not bothering us. Well, you look like you were talking about, actually we were talking about vacation spots and stuff. Sit down. And so they did. It's like there is nothing. If you ever see Marshall and I talking, that means we're bored. Come interrupt us. Come meet us.
If we're talking nonsense.
I can talk to Marshall anytime. Yeah.
And we do. We talk all the time, actually.
All
we
the
talk
time.
about crazy stuff.
So, I've never, now sometimes if I'm in a booth, I'm with someone and, you'll see someone talk, another person will go up to him and say, can I help you? He goes, actually, I want to talk to Alan. And we hear that stuff and see that, and I'll look to see who it is. And I'll put the person on hold. I'll go and meet him, but I'll say, look, I can't pull away. Can you, if you want to wait half hour, or I'd love to come back and set a time.
Yeah.
Or they'll come and say, they'll give me their card and ask them if they can meet them in about 30 minutes. I said, I can't pull away right now.
Yeah. So
that's fine.
I pat people on the shoulder and just say, hey, just want to say, hey, I know you're busy. I'll come back.
Fine. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, do that. Just say, hey, if someone like I'll be talking to people, someone waves, I will too.
Right.
I may not know you, but yeah, hey.
Right. So Terry says, thanks. Cal's here. Hey, Cal.
Hey, Cal, how you doing?
And Bruce is
Bruce
here
here
from Williams, Arizona. Hey, Bruce, where is Williams, Arizona?
It's next to California.
Is it?
In between New Mexico and California.
Okay, cool. I might have to visit. You know, I live
That's the whole state.
Yeah. I'm one of these people. I'm geographically stupid. I don't know where anything is. I need to pull up a map. I need to because GPS runs my life, right? Just like put the address in. It's like, okay, 43 minutes, I'm there, right? And how did we ever exist without GPS? It was like, remember how you used to print 6 pages of instructions?
Oh yeah, directions.
Yeah. And so now it's just like,
In Michigan, we always have a map. So where's that in Michigan at? Okay, where is it? Shelby.
Yeah, right. It's right there next to the thumb.
There's Detroit. I'm up by here. So.
Well, you're inverted because of the thing.
Oh, okay.
30 miles west of Flagstaff, golf vacation. There you go.
All right.
You know, Bruce, my son goes to NAU. He's a freshman. So
there it is, Marshall.
Go Lumberjacks. Go Lumberjacks. All right. So let's run our GSG Pulse. Hey, it worked. How about that? Let me get that thing off. So why don't you take this, Alan? Let me see if I can. Let me run this a little better. Zoom in while you talk.
Sure. So what's cool about the Pulse is they have these little QR codes, and you can scan it, and it'll bring up a video. And there's our friend Mark Soldonic talking, and what he's talking about is colder temperatures, about keeping your screen printing supplies, especially emulsions, but also your reclaiming chemicals and anything with water in them, that when they get below a certain temperature, you want to keep emulsion, and he's saying there between 70 and 75 degrees Fahrenheit. You might live in the South, but where is it shipping from? So we have like our distributors, in Minnesota right now, it's starting to get freezing, and we're going, look, you've got to start. I'm going to have to start talking to my dealers saying, if you want stencil remover products, which have water in them, and if they freeze, they're dead. You need to place an order ahead of time and try to get a 90-day supply, because if you call and you're out and it's February, it could be 3 weeks before we can ship it, because you don't want the products, freezing on there. So you have to think about ink gets thicker, emulsion, even in colder weather, chemicals get slower, ink gets thicker, emulsions get a little bit thicker too. You don't want some of those stuff, you can't let them freeze. So there are some things, whether you're in Florida or what, if emulsions get too hot, they can get weird. So in Florida, Arizona, keep them in a cool place.
Yeah. You would think that, how they have like air conditioned trucks or freezer trucks, that somebody would have invented a heater truck for the winter.
They can. Do you want to pay for that?
No, I'm cheap.
Yeah, exactly. And there's very far and few of them around. And most of it, like when things get shipped UPS, it's not so much when it's on the truck. It's ordered on a Friday. It's going to sit somewhere all weekend.
Right. Sit in a unenvironmentally controlled warehouse.
Right. So if you're in the north, if you're there where it's getting colder, start thinking. So we tell customers and users, you might want to have, a 90-day supply of emulsion.
Thinking? Who does thinking?
Yeah, well, smart people. Smart people, good business people.
I'm being funny.
Yeah. It's like who doesn't have SOPs and stuff? Crazy people, bad business people.
Who doesn't have SOPs? Like a lot of people.
A lot of people. Who doesn't have a business plan? Bad business people. So,
a lot of people.
Yeah.
I can help with that.
Absolutely. You're doing a seminar. Go to Fort Worth and listen to Marshall. Right. But I love these little helpful hints in the Pulse because you can just put a QR code on it and get them.
Yeah.
But if you
And
haven't
Mark does such a great job with those videos.
he does, and GSG does. If you go to the Pulse, go to gogsg.com, look at the top, you can get the Pulse, download it, and that is their quarterly magazine with all their specials and all kinds of great tips and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So,
all right. So Charles says Williams is near the 40 near flag. Yeah, thanks. Josh says, good morning, fellas. Hey, Josh, you coming out to the Fort Worth show?
Josh is in Oklahoma, so
yeah. Well, he was here last year. That's why
we've met him. We've interviewed him before the last couple of years. So yeah.
And I am leaving tomorrow at around 12 to get to the airport. So I'll be here just in the morning. Anyway, so would love to see if you're around. Yes, leaving tonight. Great. Costa says we have in Sweden heater, cooler, freezer in all our trucks, but not all still. There you go.
Yep, absolutely.
All right. Well, great. So our next topic is,
and also too, we were talking of freezing chemicals like stencil movers. If they freeze, they die. If emulsions freeze, they die.
Yeah. What? Why is that?
Because they're no good then.
Why? So this machine's really quiet. How come it doesn't? How come it's so quiet?
Because it doesn't make any noise. Yeah.
How long is a piece of string?
Yeah. And that is from our friend Peter Walsh. We actually did that live, and it was great. Why is it so quiet? Because it doesn't make any noise. Oh, of course. Technically, you know what? I don't remember. I should know this.
Yeah.
It just destroys it. So
take it from Alan. You don't want it.
Yeah, don't do it. And you can tell it'll look lumpy, a little kind of cheesy and stuff like that. Richard, if you're here, you know.
You're describing me, lumpy and cheesy.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah. So sometimes you can look at it and see it, sometimes not. But here's the best: just don't do it.
Yeah. All right. Well, cool. Hey, our next topic is get out of your office, and I think it's so important.
We're live.
Yeah, so important these days. I think to get out of your office and go see your customers. Go experience things. Go do a field trip. When was the last time you actually went to a store? This is a good thing to do. And just go look at what Nike's doing or what Under Armour's doing or what, name your favorite brand, whatever, and go see their embroidery and go see their printing and go see what they're doing and how they're doing the neck label or how they're doing the print or what kind of weird placements are they doing or whatever. And just keep a little notebook with you or do what I do. Just take a digital picture with your phone. I think it's really important to get out of your office and go look and see things because that's where you get new knowledge, right? And you can take that idea and you can develop that into products for your customers. And this is how you innovate. This is how you become more valuable to them because you're doing some new fun stuff. I was just talking with a guy just a minute ago at the trade show about putting a transfer on the sleeve of his shirt with a QR code because the guy, guess what he did? He forgot his business cards, right?
Yep.
If he did a QR code transfer on his sleeve, then that could take them to his Calendly link to schedule a call or maybe his LinkedIn profile or wherever you want to take it. But that could be an interesting way to do that, where if you've forgotten your business card, say, hey, just take a picture of this on my sleeve, and it'll take you right to my account, right? Yep. And so, but he wouldn't have gotten that tip if he had stayed home.
Absolutely.
Because of the conversation with me, and that's where it happened, right? So, so you have to get out of your office. You have to go see folks. I know that, I do that. And Alan, you travel like constantly.
Yeah. This is the week where I just haven't. And
yeah, it's all right. So what is the most, when you're visiting people, right? Let's say you don't have an appointment right? You just, there's a shop, you're going to go in there.
Cold calling.
What do you do? It's cold calling, right? What do you do? Because I know a lot of people don't want to do that because it's the rejection. They don't want to hear no, or they're scared to walk through the door. How do you overcome getting out of your office and going and do that?
And I actually cold call more now, probably that I'm older, than I did when I was younger. We hated it. And what that is an insecurity in sales. Yeah, nobody likes rejection, but you got to remember, when you become a little bit more secure in yourself and you remember that no is okay, move on. Don't waste time trying to beat down the door. You have a contact. If I can get if it's a first time cold call and I can get a business card with the decision maker of who to do, that's my goal. That's my goal. If it goes past that, it's icing on the cake. Right. So mine is just to find out what they do. I usually walk in, somebody's there. You talk to them. Hi, I'm Alan Howe from EasyWay. I'd like to speak to somebody if they're available. Or may I ask who's in charge of your screen printing department? And usually it's either one, I am, hold on, let me get them, or we don't do it. We farm it out. No problem. Who do you farm it out to? Or we just do embroidery. Or he's not available. Can I ask this regarding? Sure. EasyWay is the largest manufacturer of reclaiming chemicals for our industry. We're out of Minnesota. I'd love to leave some information. And if possible, can I get, if he's not available, can I get his information where I can set up a call for him?
Yeah, right.
And usually I with a joke going, can I get his information or get a business card? And I usually say, just so I can prove to my boss I'm not out playing golf. And they usually laugh at that,
Right. Yeah.
So,
and it's, I think a lot of times you can get that from we'll just call it the gatekeeper, right? Yeah. If you ask for help, hey, I just need some help. This is what I'm trying to do.
And right. The bigger the company, when you're trying to cold call them, is harder. And a lot of times, like, ma'am, I'm here. I'm sorry. But I go, I don't know if you can help me. I go, I have no idea who I'm supposed to talk to. And I go, I know, honest, I'm smarter than that usually. And usually she'll start laughing. And if they're just sitting there going, yeah, what do you want? What do you do? Okay, this is going to be tough.
Yeah.
But a lot of times you get the gatekeeper, they all want to help going, you know what? Here's the person. I think it's this one. I go, is there a production manager? Or a lot of times it's purchasing or something like that. And then they start, on there. If they can get you a name, then it's fine.
This is the best answer. Whatever you do, do it with the confidence of
I love that.
In a Batman t-shirt.
Exactly.
Oh who is this? Do you know them?
You know what? I just heard of them. They're out of Virginia. They're a newer supplier.
Please introduce yourself.
They're in Virginia. I just heard about them from someone else. They're a non-EasyWay dealer. They're a Corking dealer. But yeah, hey, thanks for tuning in, man. That's awesome. Everybody's welcome. We don't mind.
Yeah, right.
So,
and Richard answered your question. Basic emulsification structure is disrupted. Chemical structure is separated.
That first part sounds like Richard throwing BS out there.
It's Terry Saunders using her alias.
Oh, okay. There we go, Terry. That's where we know you from. All right.
All right. Great.
So yeah, Richard, I love Richard's on this. Basic emulsification structure is disrupted. Come on, that's smokescreen. The chemical structure is separated, and that is actually it. So basically, when it freezes, it's not. Richard doesn't throw BS out like that, but basically, it separates everything. In some companies, they say the emulsion, if you can mix them back down. I've yet to see it happen by hand. You have to have such a high-speed mixer to get them back.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's able to do that. So Richard isn't blowing smoke. I'm just making fun of him.
Yeah, so this is a great comment from Ghosta. I did my own deliveries this week, triple order next week, and close 2 ones. Just me driving and talking about them as you learn me. So thanks for all the tips. That's great. And by the way, if you're wondering how come he doesn't write as well, it's because English is not his first language. So he's from Sweden, so we give him a break. So.
And he speaks Chinese. It's his first language. No. But that's perfect because I'll give you an example. I was in Arizona with our dealer, and we're inside. Ron Goodman.
Right.
Gotta love him. Absolutely. I'm in the production area talking with the production manager. We're talking and stuff, and he's using a competitive product. The competitor who sells it said, yeah, I ordered it. He goes, it's actually supposed to be here today. As we're there, we turn around and it's sitting in the door. He goes, they do. I thought it was because they saw me. He goes, no, they do it all the time. They'll just place order, sit it inside the door with the packing stuff, never come in, never talk to anybody. And I'm like, oh, idiots. Well, he ended up sending that stuff back. I showed him a better product. He ordered it for me.
Right.
And if he would just say, he goes, yeah, they do that all the time. And it's like, come on. For what Ghost is doing, and even if you have delivery people or other people, sometimes as the owner, as the principal person, when they go, oh, wow, you're delivering this yourself, didn't you get to know that customer better? What's their other products? What other events do they have? What other needs and solutions? Now you're going through the sales process. Right. Now you're looking for, pain points. What's the other outcomes? So great job, Augusta.
Yeah, right. And, people don't do business with their enemies. People do business with their friends. And so
they still do. But Marshall, what do you always say? People buy from who they know and trust.
Yeah. Know, like, trust.
Yep.
What sales cycle? Know, like, trust, buy.
Yep. Absolutely.
Where are you on that continuum?
Yep. I have a client. They've been on here, Sandlot Sports. They were using a product. When I went to a competitive product, they switched to me. And I always made it work for them. But truthfully, they told me they didn't like it as well. So when I came to work from Easyway, they went to Easyway right away. They love it. The competitor, I guess, went in there and they just said, look, here's the deal. We buy from Alan. And we bought your guys' stuff from Alan because we like Alan because he brings so much more to the table.
Yeah.
Than just selling a chemical and emulsion. And he said, and truthfully, Alan got it to work. We can't get it to work without him. So sorry, and it is. And there's certain things. That doesn't mean it's a horrible company. But the fact they said he brings much more to the table.
Yeah.
The guys at Sandlot, they're friends of mine. I've met Dexter, Adam's kid. Dex is famous online.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So they're good people. They've been to Shirt Lab. They've spoke at Shirt Lab. And
Adam.
Yeah, those are relationships that there's more to it than just you can buy from anybody.
Sure. Right. So let's wind up today for our last topic, which is all about virtual assistants.
Yep.
So
has another comment real quick on emulsions.
Oh, didn't see it.
Yeah. Many emulsions are created with heat to catalyze the bonds that keep solids in suspension. Okay. I didn't know that. So so when they freeze, it brings everything out of suspension and separates, is what it is.
So Ron, hey, by the way, make it a good day. All things being equal, buy from those they like and trust. All things not being equal, they still buy from those they like and trust.
Oh, I love that. Jeffrey Gitomer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, perfect.
That's what you were just saying.
Yep.
So our last topic today is all about virtual assistants. And so I know a lot of people are skeptical about these, right? And so right now, I have a virtual assistant, and the company that I'm working with, their owner is actually here attending the show because I keep sending them shops. Like as referrals, right? And he wants to maybe sponsor Shirt Lab, and he wants to maybe get a booth in Long Beach. So he's just here to kind of see what's going on. His name's Russell. He's an awesome guy. And so I just thought I'd take a minute, not really to talk about his company just specifically, but just virtual assistants in general. And the reason why you might want one of these. And the idea here is all about prioritizing your time. And I think a lot of people don't understand the value that having an assistant can do for you. And that's every day, I think we spend time doing we'll just call it the grind, right?
Yep.
So if you're in sales, this could be lead generation, this could be answering emails, this could be whatever, if you're in a accounting department, it could be doing invoices and sending reminders for accounts receivable. There's a million things that a VA could do. So like mine, her name is Lyra, right? She works on this show.
Yep.
Right. So she publishes things. She does our podcast. She does some things. She does a lot of stuff for Shirt Lab. She does currently all of the Atkinson Consulting social media. So if you see a post on LinkedIn or Twitter or whatever, chances are Lyra wrote it. And the reason why I have this isn't because I don't enjoy doing it, because some of the things, I like doing, is because I can focus my time on more revenue generating things, and everything can just go the way I want them to go. Right. And Lyra, she lives in the Philippines. And so, so the rate is less than having somebody here in the United States do the work. And, of course, there's an argument about you should hire people in America and all that. But, the sad fact is, I want to make money. So I want to make sure that I'm profitable, and I found a solution that works for me, that I can get their job done. And, I'm helping somebody earn a living somewhere else. And so I see it as a win all around.
And
right?
Just so people know, I mean, I don't know if everybody knows, I was just there in the Philippines. I've been there 8 or 9 times. I almost wish I was Filipino. I've been there. I love that country. And what I figure Lyra's getting paid on there, I know what Marshall pays, and we figured the percentage on there. She's making almost 10 times national average on there and doing well. And Marshall couldn't believe how much that would. I figured it out, especially now that it's even more, the exchange rate.
Yeah.
So do not think this is slave labor. These are technical people, usually college degree.
She has a college degree.
Yeah.
And she does a really phenomenal job for me. I'm extremely pleased with her. And I really like the company I'm using, but you don't have to just use them.
Yep.
Right? There's plenty of options out there. But I think the thing that you might want to think about, so if you're in sales, if you're in marketing, if you're doing some things, and you find yourself like struggling to keep up, right, with answering your email and doing, just putting orders in the system or whatever, there's repetitive tasks, right? A virtual assistant is good for that. And the show, the expo I just went to, that there's a tech thing coming where any type of repetitive task like that can be digitally automated. I don't think it's right for our industry yet, but that's probably going to be coming. So it's very interesting of what's going on. But right now, VAs are an easy way to get the job done at a not too expensive rate. So that's something that you might want to be looking at.
I agree. And you know what? It's all about, not because you're lazy. I know you just read Ghost's response. I did too. Yeah. So do you mean a pool boy? The wife would be happy, but the pool would be clean and I can work more. Not in a way, it's like I have someone that cuts my lawn. Can I do it? Yes. But I'd rather pay him $45. It's done every 2 weeks and trimmed. And I'm traveling. I'm not worrying about it when it's there. I could be doing other stuff. I don't worry about my lawn looking like a wheat field when I travel. When you're in business and you have that, there are things that only you can do, especially as an owner, is upper management. It's called delegating down. And with a virtual assistant, especially someone like Marshall, who has one who works out of his house, it's Atkinson Consulting and stuff. Now this is just another employee.
Yeah, she is an employee of mine, right? So that's
absolutely.
And so it's just something to think about. And I know everybody's conscious of what's going on and with our economy, and we kind of opened the show with that. But I think, if you were to kind of look at the tasks that you have to do, and then what you want to be working on, and then what like prevents you from doing higher value things, I think this is where that type of service comes in. Also, I'm seeing a real trend in this industry for different facets to be outsourced: marketing, graphic services, separations, embroidery, digitizing, that type of stuff. So we're seeing a lot of this anyway, right? And there's some just fantastic companies that do that. Graphic Source, Seps.io. There's plenty of them out there. So just look at like kind of outsourcing some of these tasks, not because you're going to lay people off, but because they can be doing higher value things instead of the low value grunt work, and that's just something to be considering.
And I was all the graphics that you do and everything you push through your social medias, like you said, that's all Lyra. You're sending it to her, she's creating it, she's editing, and don't worry about a second language. From me being over there, they are taught English from elementary school all the way through. You have to know it. There, and it's actually spoken better than we do because we use so much slang. It's unreal. It's hard. I have to, when I'm there, realize that, if you notice, Marshall, sometimes she's learned contractions probably trip her up a little bit because they don't use contractions a lot.
I haven't noticed that.
When I first went over there, contractions sometimes look them up and contrast stuff because I just don't know. But I think they're better on contractions now.
Yeah.
But so don't worry about that. The language barrier, there isn't one.
Yeah.
And
so all right. Well, hey, this is going to wrap our show up. Love that you guys watched, and we'll see you next week. And you got any fun things going on, Alan, this weekend?
Nothing going on this weekend. I like it. I like nothing going on. I'm to the point. You know what? It's getting colder. I have refused to turn on the heat in Michigan. My house is now down to.
Oh, you're in control of the heat of the whole state?
Yeah, well, I refuse to turn it on in my house because it's now 63 degrees in my house. I refuse to turn on the furnace in September. So Nerd Shirt. Oh, okay, in Baltimore, Nerd Shirt. Thank you.
There you go. Thanks.
Great job. Hey, thanks. Awesome. So it's getting it's fall here. It's starting. So I'm actually thinking it might be time to make soup this weekend.
Oh, what are you going to make?
I don't know. I haven't done it in a while. I mean, I could make a pretty good split pea. I make a great pure vegetable soup. Although I think it's I need potato leek. I don't do a lot of cream-based soups, but I can do a pretty awesome potato leek soup. Yeah. And I haven't done it in a while. I'm like, all right, Alan, let's just start doing that. So great. So I was thinking chili maybe too. I saw someone posted white chicken chili. I'm like, ooh.
I like a good chili.
I do too. And I don't make a great chili.
You know why? You know why I like a good chili? Because the next day it's chili dog day.
Oh, absolutely. Well, we get chili. I can get chili dogs anytime.
Oh yeah, that's the reason I like to have a pot of chili, because I know tomorrow I'm having chili dogs.
So. Well, see, here in Michigan, there's two types of chili dogs. Do you want Detroit style or Flint style? So Flint style is more like a ground beef one, and Detroit style is more of a more saucy type one on there. So there's different types of it. So Coney dogs in Michigan are kind of sacred.
Terry's making taco soup.
Dude, Terry, I'm on my way down Virginia. It'll be warmer. Let's go. I'm all about it. Terry, you got to come to a show, man. We'd love to meet you now.
All right. All right, everyone. Well, hey, we'll take care. And I'm anxious to see if my team, Florida State, can beat Wake Forest this week and be 5-0 for the first time in forever. That's what I'll be looking for tomorrow. So if you see my team win, know that I'm happy.
Hey, the person from Nerd in a Shirt there in Baltimore, I actually cover part of that area. One of my distributors. I can help you out. Let me know.
Great. Terry says we're always welcome.
Virginia, I love it. Great state. I'm all over it.
All right, everyone. You guys take care, and we'll talk to you next week. See you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.